There is no hunting like the hunting of man, and those who have hunted armed men long enough and liked it never care for anything else thereafter. Courage is grace under pressure. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. The first panacea for a mismanaged nation is inflation of the currency. The second is war. Both bring a temporary prosperity. Both bring a permanent ruin, but both are the refuge of political and economic opportunists. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. In modern war, you will die like a dog for no good reason. When you go to war as a boy, you have a great illusion of immortality. Other people get killed, not you. Then, when you are badly wounded the first time, you lose that illusion, and you know it can happen to you. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. I like to listen. I have learned a great deal from listening carefully. Most people never listen. The world is a fine place and worth the fighting for, and I hate very much to leave it. Once we have a war, there is only one thing to do. It must be won, for defeat brings worse things than any that can ever happen in war. We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master. I love to go to the zoo, but not on Sunday. I don't like to see the people making fun of the animals, when it should be the other way around. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. The only thing that could spoil a day was people. People were always the limiters of happiness, except for the very few that were as good as spring itself. If a writer knows enough about what he is writing about, he may omit things that he knows. The dignity of movement of an iceberg is due to only 1/9 of it being above water. Hesitation increases in relation to risk in equal proportion to age. About morals, I know only that what is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. Madam, all stories, if continued far enough, end in death, and he is no true storyteller who would keep that from you. To be a successful father, there's one absolute rule. When you have a kid, don't look at it for the first 2 years. I wake up in the morning and my mind starts making sentences, and I have to get rid of them fast, talk them or write them down. Cowardice is almost always simply a lack of ability to suspend functioning of the imagination. You see, I am trying in all my stories to get the feeling of the actual life across, not to just depict life or criticize it, but to actually make it alive, so that when you have read something by me, you actually experience the thing. You can't do this without putting in the bad and the ugly as well as what is beautiful. A serious writer is not to be confounded with a solemn writer. A serious writer may be a hawk or a buzzard or even a popinjay, but a solemn writer is always a bloody owl. All my life I've looked at words as though I were seeing them for the first time. Writing and travel broaden your ass if not your mind, and I like to write standing up. When I have an idea, I turn down the flame, as if it were a little alcohol stove. As low as it will go, then it explodes, and that is my idea. Why should anybody be interested in some old man who was a failure? If you have a success, you have it for the wrong reasons. If you become popular, it is always because of the worst aspects of your work. Bullfighting is the only art in which the artist is in danger of death, and in which the degree of brilliance in the performance is left to the fighter's honor. As you get older, it is harder to have heroes, but it is sort of necessary. No weapon has ever settled a moral problem. It can impose a solution, but it cannot guarantee it to be a just one. That terrible mood of depression of whether it's any good or not is what is known as the artist's reward. Wars are caused by undefended wealth. My aim is to put down on paper what I see and what I feel in the best and simplest way. There is no rule on how to write. Sometimes it comes easily and perfectly. Sometimes it's like drilling rock and then blasting it out with charges. I learned never to empty the well of my writing, but always to stop when there was still something there in the deep part of the well, and let it refill at night from the springs that fed it. Prose is architecture, not interior decoration, and the Baroque is over. Time is the least thing we have of. They wrote in the old days that it is sweet and fitting to die for one's country, but in modern war, there is nothing sweet nor fitting in your dying. You will die like a dog for no good reason. Fear of death increases in exact proportion to increase in wealth. If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast. What is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. When writing a novel, a writer should create living people, people not characters. A character is a caricature. The shortest answer is doing the thing. Never mistake motion for action. You're beautiful, like a mayfly. All things truly wicked start from innocence. There is no lonelier man in death, except the suicide, than that man who has lived many years with a good wife, and then outlived her. If two people love each other, there can be no happy end to it. Never go on trips with anyone you do not love. There is no friend as loyal as a book. An intelligent man is sometimes forced to be drunk to spend time with his fools. I love sleep. My life has the tendency to fall apart when I'm awake. You know,